you're saying less police when we have also demonized the police for doing what they need to do to stop it.
No, they're not doing what they need to do to stop it. Like Derek Chauvin wasn't doing what he needed to do to stop George Floyd, right? Look, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and cops are a hammer. They are dealt with a problem that they are incapable of solving.
No, I'll give you that point. We do need better cops, and I don't want to sit here and act like I'm saying every cop is perfect. My whole point is that, listen, I'm with you, and I think there's a lot of moments and points of agreement. Like, I'm saying, yo, you're right. Like, we do need the better infrastructure and all these other things to stop the cycle, because you're right. People in Connecticut, they're not doing that. But we also have to be very aggressive and very intentional in the approach to let people know that, hey, listen, violence can't beget more violence, because that is, hey, that's what I realized.
I agree. That's why cops are a terrible method of solving violence.
So how do you stop more violence when people are moving off road?
But you just said violence doesn't beget more violence, and now you're saying cops are the only way to stop violence.
Yo, because Hassan, somebody kills your brother, you're picking up a gun, or you're more likely to. Especially if you have nothing to live for, or that's a way of life, you're probably going to do it. What I'm trying to say is that you have to stop the cycle even if you improve the conditions. Because put it like this, when these people are talking to me, they're saying this, like, that group or that gang killed my cousin. I don't give a what they did. Bro, it's the same thing with war.
Okay. Yeah. I have a quick question for you, right? Let's say in your younger days, would you ever throw hands? Like if someone, tried to fuck with you?
I would, if it came to
okay. You probably won't do that right now, would you?
Depend on.
And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, you're a pussy or anything. There's a larger point here.
It depends on what level, but also if I could avoid it, of course I would not, because I have a lot more things going on.
Exactly, that's my point. You have way too much to lose for getting into a dumbass scuffle. And if people have more to lose, then they're less likely to act in violent ways. But if you have no future prospects, if your school system is completely fundamentally broken, the teachers don't want to be there, you're still working on like textbooks that are from 1957, okay, and you see so much violence happening as a consequence in every facet of your life, and you're like, what am I supposed to do? Of course I'm going to pick up a gun and go and do whatever the I can to survive, okay? Like, that's the point. And if you're born into that environment, it is very difficult to get out of it, and the only way to actually get out of it is to make sure that you have something to lose, to make sure that you have a future prospect, to make sure that these kids are being educated, to make sure that they have shit to do.
Here's the biggest thing, though. You see, education won't do it. The majority of these people, and this is why the feds, which they've rarely ever really in Chicago like that, unless it's super drug stuff, they went into O-Block. And what O-Block is a low-income housing option. And whatever you're saying with that, okay, if you build a high rise, if you build anything, usually they require you have some option for people of low income housing.
Yeah, those policies, unfortunately, do not meet the demands of the market, though. But yes, I'm familiar. They do it in New York, too.
But hold on. When you have inherently a bunch of people who are living in low income housing, despite the opportunity, they're more prone to just be at risk of throwing it all away just off a petty disagreement. You're living pretty good. You're going to think about it 5 times. So would I. But these people, you're living in O-Block, and this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about people who are living in mansions. Like, I don't think,
but, you know what I mean? But that's why I said raise the fucking minimum entry level for existence for all Americans. We have the wealth to be able to do so. We're the wealthiest nation on earth. And you still got motherfuckers living in Alabama, specifically in black neighborhoods, with no working sewage system. Like, that's disrespectful as that's completely ridiculous. You literally still have plantations in Angola. The Louisiana State Penitentiary operates like a plantation. It's named after a plantation. Like, this is not a mistake. This is why I get so mad whenever people try to deny white supremacy's permanent institutional power in American development. There's a reason for all of this, okay? That's why motherfuckers like Tim Pool, who you said you watch, are regularly serving that same institutional oppressive hierarchy by denying the reality of white supremacy.
Okay. So then I ask you, right? Because, and by the way, I like watching both of y'all because I think y'all are rational, and I see a lot of.
He is not rational. He is not even remotely rational. But anyway, let's.
Okay. All right. So when you're also kind of borderline teetering on what would most people say is socialism, my guy. Like,
wait, what? Let me tell you something about myself then. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't think that the capitalist organization of the economy is adequate. We don't need to have that conversation. But yes,
no, it's no way you believe in that. Hey, listen, I'm one of the biggest pocket watchers ever known to man. Like, I've already summed you up in what you make. And I sum up rappers, I sum up entertainers. Look at my guy Kai. I just did a whole little rap sheet of his thing.
Socialism is not a poverty cult. You don't have to be poor to be socialist, even though you can still advocate for those who are less fortunate than you. Russell Brand once famously said,
the majority of your luxuries just to improve the lives of other people who may not be trying or working hard.
That's not socialism. That is a bastardized American interpretation of socialism. Russell Brand once famously said, when I was poor and I advocated for socialism, they said I was jealous of the wealthy's success. Now I'm wealthy and I advocate for socialism, and they say I'm a hypocrite. Turns out they just don't want me advocating for socialism. They don't want me speaking out on behalf of the working class.